type your URL or call up your app first. And sometimes you won't always like what you see. And it's just because your content teams are so busy pumping out content and pumping out new stories, sometimes there are basic things wrong, like the wrong talent coming up in Google searches, wrong images of your talent, outdated photos. The Wikipedia entry is wrong. So in that search environment, Wikipedia is pretty important. Also remember that your search is different to someone else's search, and desktop search is very different to mobile. You get a different result. So check your digital existence. Number 2, make friends with big tech. I spoke about this earlier today. A lot of sessions, particularly yesterday, talking about our digital future and about how sometimes it can feel like things are beyond our control. Because of the rise of big tech. Take time to make relationships with big tech. Sometimes you might be lucky enough to have local reps that can help you do the things that you need to do, and sometimes you do need to dig further. I said in my presentation earlier today that sometimes some of my work and the work that we've been doing in Smart Speakers has been a bit Alice in Wonderland in that you'll be led into one door, you meet one stakeholder, then you suddenly meet another one, and then you meet another one, and none of them know each other, and none of them know what the other person is doing. So take the time to make friends with big tech, because you will need those favors later on. Tip number 3, make new digital with paper. I am also amazed with product development how sometimes, and this is not just radio, brands end up pushing out new digital products, and you can tell they've spent a lot of money and a lot of effort, and you're thinking, did they really think this through? I'm not showing the work that I've done because, some of it is a work in progress. But this is an example of some of the stuff that I'll do, that I will grab a pen and paper, draw an app, or draw an update of our app, and just take it around and just ask people, which button would you press? Do you even care? What do you like about that content idea? What do you like about this? And within within an hour or so, I can shoot down an idea that probably could have cost me a couple of $100,000 in real life. So iterate. In a previous job, sometimes we just hit the streets, just walk around and walk up to randoms and say, have a look at this. Would you actually use this? Would you download this? Would you even care? So don't be afraid to prototype with paper. There's plenty of tools available online to do that. Okay, tip number 4. In my previous role, I was part of Podcast One Australia as their first content director of a new podcast network. One thing that struck me is when you leverage off a radio network to create podcasts, all these presenters come up to you and say, I've got a great idea for a podcast. Making radio is not the same as making podcasts. That is a theme that has come up a couple of times today. For me, it's a couple of things. It's not actually downgrading presenters. I'm absolutely amazed, just like with the session before, that people can make 3 to 4 hours of compelling live content every day. That is absolutely amazing. But in that on-demand environment, because consumption is different, the way of making it is different. And it's not just that, it's how you design the story and how you even produce. At least FM radio in Australia is very big on taking breaths out and putting in compression and making it big and pumpy and all of that kind of thing. It doesn't work like that in podcasts. Someone has chosen to put the earbuds in their ear and they're pressing play from the start. Which takes me to idea number 5. One story at a time. With a lot of people who came to us with ideas, I had to spend time almost deprogramming them and telling them, okay, just take me on one step at a time. A radio show in 15 minutes is supposed to do everything. It's supposed to tell you what the weather's going to be like, what's happening today, what the traffic is like, play a song, play something, have a different piece of content to kind of keep everyone interested over the show. With podcasting, and it's kind of an extension of Tim's last idea, when someone has chosen to press play, they've seen the artwork, you've got them in, they've seen your episode description and your title description, and they've chosen to press play. Just take me on a story. And with Tim's idea, I would often proof episodes getting on the train. If you can keep my attention while I'm glancing out the window, one story at a time is the way to do it, and taking me on that trip. So it's a big support of Tim's 5th idea, and that's my 5 minutes up. Thank you.